You know what this place needs? A stool. So I built one out of all that crap. I've been making project out of that shed for almost a year. Now I'm finally making projects in the shed. I'm underneath a bright orange umbrella helping with their Halloween thing at their church. And it's a kind of a drive-through Halloween thing. There's a friend of a friend's brother's house, somebody, and they've got chickens and horses. And Lucy is checking for eggs. Here, I'll show you the sheep. Sheep are cool. And that's Lucy, hi.
Any of you guys feel like getting a kiss? Nope, okay.
They've got a miniature horse that they've never ridden. They were scared to, but Lucy wanted to ride it, and she's so cute.
Bye.
I am twisting this, and you can see it move. My bicycle has been a heck of a project, and it meant that I had to buy some tools. Hey guys, I'm gonna come on through. Hey bro. Out there on Tothra Park, riding, talking to the cows. Got a lot of poop on that though. You don't mind if I walk through, do you? Thanks, Pumpkin. Thanks. It is such a peaceful, lovely park. I love the rain here. The rain is fantastic. It's hard, heavy, and often. It's fantastic. And here's a bunch of work friends. They all worked at Ignite. 3 of those 4 have already left, maybe more. Uh-oh. I found something interesting. What do you think? Pretty good? Does it make my beard look better? I had that garage in process for an entire year. So from almost the day I moved in, he started working on it, and he finished it almost exactly 1 year later. So this is what it looks like so far. Pretty good. Here it is, almost done. This is my wall where I was working on more of those quotes. This an early Christmas gift to myself. I kind of need to do it anyway. But I always forget to start with a before picture. So you don't have to go back to another video 9 months ago, a year ago. You can see the before as we go along. And time lapse. That car desperately needed the protection because it was just sort of primer and whatever, and it really needed paint to not make things worse. So Christmas gift to myself, I went and bought the paint according to the manufacturer's paint number, whatever, and then all of this is time lapse so that I can just sort of show you how 3-tone the car was, and then carefully covered everything up. And since I've never painted a car before, this was a learning process. So I started with the hood because the hood would be the easiest for me, and if it's the easiest, then I will know what to improve or whatever. And I had a primer and a paint, and at first I put clear coat. I can't remember the name of the clear coat. I put the cheap stuff on, and then I put the good stuff on afterwards. When I figured out that the paint coat on the hood was sort of terrible, it was too terrible. It just was gonna probably peel in the sun. It was too cheap, and that seemed to be the only options, really, the right stuff or the really cheap stuff. So here I am putting layer on top of layer on top of layer of paint and then the cheap stuff. And I learned a lot. I definitely know how to do the rest of the car. I learned a lot. But here we go, ta-da! Totally different colors. Maybe I can try and say that it's 2-tone sexy or something. But that is not the same color at all. Eventually, I did paint the rest of the car later. Board that's always been across the window for no good reason. I've always wanted to move it, and I always thought maybe if it's doing something structural, then I could just accomplish the same thing if I moved it over here. Until I just now looked really close and realized that nail is only just touching, which means it's doing nothing, which means it's holding nothing. Oh, I'm not telling Frank. Whoop. In fact, I eventually did tell him later. He noticed it later and was thrilled that I had just taken the initiative. Over the summer and January and February and even into March, this backyard has been evolving. This plant, it was sitting back there, was boxed in underneath that, leaning way out. And digging so that I could replant it at the front, I found a hole. Right down in the hole is just more hole. For the price of free, or for the price of dirt, or for the price of sweat and fertilizer and sweat and mulch, I have made big changes in the garden. 2 days ago, the cats here murdered a bird and spread its carcass out in some sort of frenzied splatter. And now, today or last night, they have murdered a mouse, and not just murdered, but beheaded and then left there as is, with the head sitting, with the head there and the body there, and a little fetus or something there. I started fixing other stuff around the house, like these broken, falling apart stairs, as cheap as possible. All right, I so often forget to put the before and after. So that piece of cement right there is loose. It's not connected. I'm gonna pick it up, turn it around, and set it right here so that there's a better piece of cement out in front of this staircase. And then I'm gonna fill that in with dirt. This dirt, in fact, this grass. And then I'm gonna add dirt to that patch and grow grass there. It looks like a shallow grave, but it actually matches the shape of the cement. Yep, that's a jack and a rope and an attempt to hoist it into the air enough that I can just slide it down into that last little bit. Unfortunately, my big crowbar is the best tool for that last little bit. In the garden, I filled in all that space with ground cover, and I started this grass with chunks of the other grass when I was hoping that other kind of grass would spread out and fill in quickly. Not quickly enough, I used grass seed. I gotta say, look how beautiful my life is. I wake up in the morning to this. Beautiful sunshine, beautiful sky. The neighbors use this clothesline that is just the ugliest of evil eyesores. I hate it so much. So I carefully measured, carefully figured it out, and then offered them a new clothesline hidden away in that little bush next to their garage in these long lines that stretch across the edge of their driveway, and click right there. It's perfect. Ta-da! Almost gone. This thing was in the ground so deep. That's 2 feet across. That's 2 feet down. This thing was in there so deep, you could have anchored the whole house. That's ridiculous. Second of all, is this old cement and new cement? What in the weird? Whatever, it's out now. Woohoo! COVID behavior is foolish and dumb. Look at those rubber gloves that he's using to touch food, take money, touch the menu that everybody else is touching. He touches his face and touches his mask and touches his beard, touches it multiple times. And this is normal. This is what we live in. Just as I was leaving Ignite, they put up new bathroom signs, and I think this is the funniest bathroom sign ever, because clearly for the men's they have chosen Michael Jackson.